These are the Andromedans. It depletes you of your focus on the original intent. Now, they've referred to this a lot. And they've never come right out and said what the original intent was. But I suspect it's that definition I read you in the very beginning. That was our original intent. It is elusive. It's a very secretive energy. Fear withholds love. This is most saddening to see and feel. How can we share understanding and love when so many of you are withholding from self and each other? You guys need some viral defense or something? Okay, please try to feel the words. We as a race are trying to express to your race. One of your original intentions in creating your physical reality is the idea of creating and learning to manipulate and express yourselves through physicality, using your consciousness. Okay, it is your consciousness that is the gift of the isness that the isness has given you, and in fact, all things that bear spirit. It is the gift that has been clouded, and most importantly, clouded by fear. This creation of fear is completely irrational to whom you all are. Fear, as we ourselves at one time as Lyran ancestors, sought to defend and legitimize withholding of love. We have come to understand that withholding love only creates perpetual disintegration. We have discovered in our home galaxy the ruins of vast races having achieved recognition that have ceased to exist. They destroyed themselves simply because they withheld love and drained the very life force out of their intent and imploded and destroyed their self-creation. Fear is the opposing projection to original intent. The first projection of fear is denial. An emotion of incredible restriction. And as a restriction, denial and fear will result in the complete opposite reality as that which it claims to be. Fear is based, in our perspective, on a misunderstanding of one's own worth and security. Why is this so? We have formed a perspective based on your history. Your many religions have helped and hurt this process. Some of your world beliefs have many convinced they are sinful creatures of nature. Now, I just want to add something here. In one of my conversations with Mornay, the word sin came up, and I brought it up. I was born and raised a Catholic, so I was fully indoctrinated. And he told me that the word sin is a word that is pre-Sumerian, and the word sin originally meant genetic defect. So maybe that'll help you with a perspective when you read the Bible again, if you should read it again. Some of your world beliefs have many convinced they are sinful creatures of nature. Your sciences teach that your physical form is a pool of chemicals thrown together by accident, so that you are all an accident. Living meaningless lives of chance. And folks, the first group of ETs that get here, who are not going to be benevolent and they're going to pass themselves off that they are going to be telling you that basically that we are their creation, that they own us because they created us. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't. Okay, it's another lie, and the first group will probably be those from Sirius B that will be openly contacting us. They're full of shit. Okay? You know, the game continues, and a lot of people are going to fall for it because The earth will be going through changes, and they'll come down and we'll save you, and, this is the way, and so on and so forth. And, basically what they're going to do is they're going to use our free will against ourselves. Because that's what you have. That's all you have, is your free will. It's the only true sovereignty you have in this menagerie of a holograph which we call existence. Okay, you are because you want it to be. It's that simple. And if you don't want to be, then you can change that too. But it's your decision. Okay, it continues. I'm sorry. You fear a God whom a book says is a loving, forgiving God, who will eternally throw you into an abyss for making mistakes. It creates serious dysfunction, don't you think? Which way do I go? And you do nothing, It is in our perspective where this fear of unworthiness and insecurity is created from. Many in your world, Alex, have come to understand that fear, the idea of fear, is their enemy. And all of you struggle between understanding and fear and reason and fear. Please, we ask you to share this with your race. This struggle is in no way predetermined. And our perception is that this struggle will lead your world to peace and self-responsibility, or your extinction as a race. This would grieve us. It's time to return you now. And I was given that on 2/9 of 91. So, in dealing with the reflections that Morine and Phaseus have given me about our race, it's been difficult to want to come back, especially when I've seen how they treat each other. The very first time I was taken on board an Andromedan mothership, I have actually spent 3 months with them. I lived with them for 3 months in 1986. But but in our linear time, I was only gone 18 minutes. Time travel is a great thing. I was home to make car payments and everything else. And I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, okay. How they treat each other. Anyway, the first time I was brought on an Andromedan mothership, and they are 900 miles in diameter. Okay. They are completely self-contained worlds. Everything they need is there. I had to wear a belt so that it would keep my physicality together, so that I could spend this time with them. With the very first time I walked on, and in the middle of, they're made up of different levels. The craft I was on had 24 different levels. And in the middle of these craft, there is a 21 mile by 21 mile park with trees and everything. Okay? And they use extensive technology and holographs. And they can literally create their sunrise, their sunset. Okay? And the trees and plants grow because it is a holograph, but it is real, even though they're creating it with technology. The very first time I walked on, there were children. They teach their children in the middle of these parks. Everything's done in nature, very much like the Native Americans used to do. When the teepee got too small. And I walked on, and there were a bunch of children there. And as we walked out of a corridor, down a corridor, and out into this huge space of what looked like, could be anywhere, like Agora Hills or someplace out here, a park, the children moved away from me. And I was like really hurt. I was like, oh man.